Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Olson. I'm a senior AME in the HIMS AME, and today I want to address several questions from a subscriber, Joe, regarding AMEs and the difference between them. My disclaimer, as always, I'm speaking on behalf of myself and not on behalf of the FAA, and today is March 2nd, 2024. Now, before we get into Joe's questions, I just wanted to provide information regarding the types of AMEs and what they do. First, there's basic AMEs, and these are physicians who've gone through the FAA's basic seminar, and they start out, at least for their first 3 years of practice, as only being able to perform second and third class physical exams. Now, AMEs might continue beyond 3 years in this capacity if they don't wish to do first class exams. In general, all AMEs are required to perform at least 10 flight physicals a year to maintain their status as an AME, and they're also periodically required to perform refresher AME courses. So in those first 3 years, the basic AMEs, as mentioned, are only allowed to perform second and third class physicals, and then after 3 years, they can request to become a senior AME, and senior AMEs are allowed to perform first class as well as second and third class exams. Next on this list are HIMS AMEs. HIMS AMEs can perform exams on all classes and they can take on HIMS cases as well. You can consider them as consultants, and many will take on not only HIMS cases, but they'll consult for pilots who have complex non-HIMS related cases as well. And then finally on this list, I have FAA employer AMEs, and these AMEs perform physicals on air traffic controllers as well as FAA safety inspectors. Last on this slide, I've noted that some AMEs are board certified in aerospace medicine. This is a physician who's gone through an aerospace medicine residency program and then subsequently taken a board's exam to be certified under that board. This is not a requirement to become an AME. As an example, a cardiologist or primary care doctor could go through the FAA training to become an AME. So board certification is not required. So on to our questions from Joe. The first of two questions is, why are there so many AMEs and so few HIMS AMEs in the state of Wisconsin? And Joe's from Wisconsin. And what separates the two? So in the general sense, no matter where you go, not just here in Wisconsin, there are more AMEs than HIMS AMEs, and there's a reason for that. There are several steps to becoming a HIMS AME. First, an AME has to request to become a senior AME, and then after an undefined period of time, they can then request to become a HIMS AME. Now, to become a HIMS AME, the doctor needs to be approved by the FAA to become a HIMS AME. The FAA's decision is going to be determined by their evaluation of the AME's work as well as the geographic location of the AME's practice. The FAA doesn't want to have too much competition in any given area based on the population of the pilot community, but they're also, they're going to base it on the need for a HIMS AME in that area as well. So HIMS AMEs must go through initial training, and then in order to maintain their status as an AME, they're going to have to go through refresher courses as well. So question 2 from Joe. Does the FAA plan to do anything to help with the pilot shortage by reducing the restrictions, or at least making it more affordable or cost effective to handle the special issuance process, or working with the HIMS AME, etc.? Okay, so there are several things to address here. First, the FAA, in my opinion, is always trying to lower medical certification standards if they can do so without adding additional risk to the airspace. I also feel that the FAA is always trying to make the process more efficient for special issuance processing. An example of this is KHAKI conditions, and many of those conditions required special issuance. Some of them still do, but depending on the timing of the pilot's diagnosis or the degree of their condition, it may or may not require special issuance. As you can see, if you viewed my video on KHAKI conditions, the FAA has lowered the standard for certification by taking themselves out of the immediate certification process and allowing the AME to issue a certificate if that pilot's medical condition meets the appropriate standards. So the FAA is working to make the process more efficient for pilots as best they can. Now, considering costs, HIMS AMEs set their own prices, and as consultants, they do that in different ways. Each HIMS AME has their own method of billing, and the FAA doesn't provide any guidance or restrictions on how the AME operates. HIMS AMEs who have more experience may tend to charge more, but the HIMS AME with more experience may get a pilot through the medical certification with less snags, and of course, that's going to amount to less time on the ground. So the price may be reflective of the service provided. You also have to remember that affordability is also related to time on the ground. The FAA is focused on trying to speed up processing, and an example of that is the addition of Huddle, which is a digital upload platform for submitting initial drug and alcohol related HIMS cases. And they also have implemented a digital upload portal for AMEs to use on the physical exam platform. So these changes are all put in place in order to try and increase the efficiency with submitting documents and the processing of the pilot's case. And I will say this, when I was submitting documents by paper to the FAA, I have had instances where the documentation was either lost in the Postal Service processing, or even sometimes when it arrived at the FAA, it was lost within their system. So the addition of these two digital upload platforms will definitely shave off time as well as make it more secure for getting those documents into your record with the FAA. So that's it regarding the different types of AMEs. And Joe, thanks for your questions. Everybody, thanks for watching. If you would like to, please subscribe. And if you would, please share this link with your colleagues so they can join in the conversation as well. As always, if you're a subscriber and you'd like to suggest a topic that I address, please send me an email or leave a comment. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.